Yay Media Group.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to RTK Podcast. I am so excited about this podcast because y'all know that I am the queen of getting out of your own way. Like, I honest to God feel like that if you just make up in your mind, I am not too old. I can start another life. I can start another life. I can start another life. It excites me. It excites me whenever you jump and do something that is controversial. So listen to the podcast title today, When Your Dreams Are Controversial. I love that because every single thing I do, y'all, in my life, nobody in my family ever did it, so it's controversial. It's like, why are you even doing this? Especially at 52 years old. Like when I just birthed something on a prayer call and all of a sudden my mom's texting me, what are you thinking? What are you doing? So I have an incredible friend, Miss Billy Streets, and I've had the honor this year of getting to know you really well. And she is in New Jersey.
I am.
And she is beautiful and amazing. We were just talking about her amazing shoes here. I don't know if you guys can see them on the camera, but how cool is she? Like at 60 years old, you can't put fashion in a box.
No.
Like I always say, Billy, it's not what you wear, it's how you wear it.
Yes, I'm my mother's child, though. My mother was a
she wild?
fashionista. Yes, my mother used to wear 3.5, 4-inch heels in the New York City subway.
Oh, yes, honey.
So I'm my mama's child.
Billy, I used to never wear heels until like 2 years ago. And now,
Really?
yes.
Wow.
And now I even had a ministry called, one of my ministries is called Conquering Hell in High Heels, and I never wore heels.
Yes, I remember that.
I always wore like Doc Martens and Converse, but now I'm like in my heel phase.
Very good.
But what we were talking about was you said that fashion always comes back in style.
Yes. My mom used to say that it always comes back around.
I love
it always
that.
comes back around.
So how long have you had those Converse?
15 years.
What?
And now they're selling them again.
Now, did you find them again when you were packing up your house to do what we're about to tell the world that
No,
you're doing?
I actually periodically pull them out.
I love it. And then your fabulous coat.
Yes.
I love style, and you're killing it.
Yes, my
I'm
mama's
glad
child.
you're on with me.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm so
You're your
excited
mama's
to be
child,
here.
but you're a whole trailblazer. Like you, honey. If
I'm
y'all-
adjusting to that terminology, but I'm
Why?
starting to feel it. I've always been the one who helps everybody else.
Yeah.
I've always been the one who's behind the scenes in my career, in my family. And so now being the one who's kind of stepping out in front is a bit of an adjustment.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you're killing it.
Thank you.
I have to admit, y'all, we're going to really get into this. When I first met Billy, I met her at the beginning of 2024. And when I met her, I was just like, I never in my life, Billy, would have dreamed that you are embarking on this amazing dream journey that you've decided to say yes to.
But me either at that point when we first met. I had no idea.
And
And
so-
if somebody had told me, I would have told them they were crazy.
For real?
100%.
So I can't wait to hear the flip. Like, I can't wait to hear how the process went. So we're going to get into that. So listen, guys, here's what I need you to do. I need you to go subscribe wherever you're watching this podcast from: Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Apple, Android, YouTube. Subscribe. Push that subscribe button. In fact, you're going to get bombarded in your DMs on Instagram because I'm on a whole mission to get y'all to do so. So if you just do it, I'll just take those DMs off and you won't get harassed with them anymore. So go on and share with your friends. It's going to be such a great podcast. I'm honored to have her on with me. We're just hoping that this month, this whole month on these podcasts, we've been talking about letting stuff go so that when you walk into 2025, you're walking in lighter. Right? You always have a choice. You can lay in your mess. You can stay bored. You can think you're just retiring and just rocking on your porch, on the front porch until you die, or you can take life and live it. And so this whole month we've been talking about that. And so we're ending with this incredible podcast with this woman that has done incredible things in life. And then all of a sudden she decides to take the wheel. You know what I heard? And I love this. It said, this quote says, the bad news is life flies by. But the good news is you're the pilot.
Yeah, I love that.
And
That's
that
awesome.
is you, baby.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
I heard that on the way here, in fact.
Did you?
Yes. I was like, that is incredible. That's what Billy Streets is doing. So, Billy, tell everybody before we get started, we'll do this again and again, where can people follow you because you're going to follow her on this new journey?
They can follow me at www.billystreets.com.
I love that. She's like realtalkkim.com. See what she did there? She didn't make it too hard. No underscores. And it's all social media, is that too, right?
Correct.
Billy Streets.
Billy Streets.
So, and it's Billy, Billie, Streets, Streets.
Correct.
.com. And you're going to follow her journey. All right. So, guys, we'll be right back. Make sure you follow. Make sure you share this with your friend. Get your RTK journal out because you're going to take notes because we're going to be dropping some nuggets to help you get unstuck no matter how old you are. I love you guys. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back, y'all. We're so excited. So my beautiful Billy Streets, my friend, flew in from New Jersey just to do this podcast. She is launching her YouTube channel. It's probably live in the next 24 hours. She is all over social media as Billy Streets. And the reason I invited her on my podcast is because, number one, I don't like boring people. I like people that are daring. And her story is just really intriguing to me. So you're going to be able to go and subscribe to her YouTube channel, which will be Billy Streets. Her website's billystreets.com, and all of her socials, TikTok, Instagram, everything is Billy Streets. And you're going to want to follow her because she has decided to leave Madison Square Gardens. It is so Sex in the City-ish, except not. Like, whenever I think about you were this businesswoman. No one 100%. In your family has really done this. Your mom, the more I hear about her, she was just this beautiful, intriguing woman. And when I first met you in 2024, of like January, you were talking about how you were going to write this book. Like, you're a advocate for stuff. Like, you're the one that'll just start a riot when something's right. And so when I met you, you were writing a book about your family and all these types of things. And now all of a sudden at the end of 2024, you are selling everything, which is so out of your comfort zone.
I gave everything away. I didn't sell anything. I gave it away. That was important to me. There were people who needed, and I had, so I gave it to them. I didn't need it anymore, and it was a blessing to them. So it was important for me to give it away, not sell it.
So let's go back to January when I met you, and you were this classy, dignified, which you still are. But something happens when you begin to share your dreams, when you begin to walk in your true self. Things just start creative. You just start feeling alive. And what flipped? What made you go from being demure, which you're still demure, but creative demure, but kind of business, making people billions of dollars at Madison Square Garden, running organizations. And then all of a sudden here in December, you're giving away all your furniture, moving out of your place you've lived at for 10 years in New Jersey, and starting a life where you're literally going by the seat of your pants and traveling the world. Right. What was the flip?
I think the first decision I made, which was 2018, when I decided that I needed to leave Madison Square Garden. My mom had a stroke and was very sick, so I was taking care of her. I was taking care of my sick dad. I was tired, and I decided that now was the time to make that move. And the funny thing about that was I was so worried about telling my mom. So worried about what her response would be.
We always do that.
And my mom had the stroke, and she wasn't no longer able to walk. But I went over her house, and we were sitting there watching television. And I said, so I resigned a few days ago. She didn't say anything. About 10 minutes later, she said, what took you so long? And all I was worried about was her response. And she was like, what took you so long?
That's
Finally.
What we do so much in Billy in life. is we're so afraid of what our family's going to say most of the time. It's usually our moms.
Right.
And
it was a
dads.
great decision. And I mean, I had a wonderful career, but it was time for something different. And I didn't know what that looked like, but I knew that I couldn't do it while I was still embedded in the corporate world. And then I had all these plans, and then COVID had different plans. So when we started communicating and I started working with you, I was like, I'm going to write a book and I'm going to get some consulting gigs. And then maybe a few months ago, I just felt in my heart that there was something else that I was to do. There was something else I was to give to the world in a different way. And I did not know what that was. And literally one day it dropped in my spirit, literally, you're going to give everything away and we're going to go on the road for a while and see what happens.
Man.
And that was the flip. That was the spirit. That wasn't.
Absolutely. You know, we are embarking in just a few days on 2025. And the reason I really wanted you on this was because my word for 2025 is dream. Because so many of us live a life of death. Like we're just literally going to a job we hate, or we've done all our lives and that's all we know. We're just waiting to retire and then sit on our front porch and drink sweet tea. Or, you know, before we know it, we drive by cemeteries and all of our dreams are in that cemetery. All of it's dead with us. And this podcast was so important to me because I want people to see that at 60, y'all, this woman is 60 years old and you look so fine.
Thank you.
Girl.
It's genetics.
Well, they say black don't crack, okay? It's genetics and your color. It's melanin, okay? And I believe prophetically in my spirit that your yes is going to shift the narrative for your life. Just that Holy Spirit that you listened to that was so out of your comfort zone. So tell me what it's been like now with your circle of friends, because you literally were the woman that people would go to help run. I mean, you ran Madison Square Garden events. Like you've always been boom, boom, boom. Like they've always called on you to be a therapist. Like you were the therapist for everybody on ship. You were just this. How's it been with these people now when they hear, what are you doing, Billy? And you're like, I don't know. I just gave away all my stuff and I'm going to travel. How have you kept that noise of them saying, are you okay?
It's been really hard. I have a really strong contingent of people who are like, go get it. I can't wait to watch it. Make sure you show us. Make sure you stay safe, but make sure you show us. But I've also had people call me and say, are you okay? I've had people ask friends if I needed mental help. They think I've lost my mind, which sometimes I do too, by the way. Sometimes I do too. But I think with supportive friends, I've reached out to you a couple times.
Yeah.
And I've had to pray on it, right? Because there have been times that I've been, now in my apartment, which is an echo chamber because it's primarily empty for the most part. Yeah. There's been times where I've been sitting on the couch, which is where I sleep now. And I've been like, what in the world am I doing? What am I doing? But I just know that there's something, the thing I've been talking a lot about is magic and miracles.
Yeah.
And I just feel there's something on the other side that I can't dream or I can't imagine. But I have to walk in the path that has been laid out for me to find out what's on the other side.
Yeah.
And not worry about the how, the what, the where.
Yeah.
But just know it's there if I just have the courage. And it takes courage to walk on the other side. And to your point, I feel like society, they, like whoever they are, dictates kind of how we live our lives, right? And I did all the things. I got the graduate degree. I got the doctorate degree. I had the amazing career. I drove the car, lived in the apartment. I had all the things. But yet I knew in my spirit that as wonderful and blessed as I am to have those things, there was something more for me to do. And I think it's a paradigm shift.
Yeah.
It's breaking out of the box. It's being willing to do something different. And that's very hard in the society that we live in.
Yeah. So tell us what are you doing? Because you just it was like you started doing videos.
I did.
Like you've done a lot in the last few months.
I did.
That was very uncomfortable for you.
Yes. Yep.
And you started doing videos, giving, moments where you're feeling certain things and you're just like, why just go through this by myself? I'm sure someone else needs this, and you'll pop on the camera.
Right.
Tell us how you got the guts to do that, and then tell us what you're going to do.
Wow, that's a good question. I just did it. I don't know that I got the guts to do it because, it's still very uncomfortable. And I would tape the video and I wouldn't even listen to it back.
I believe
because if I listen to it back, I'm not going to post it.
Yeah.
And
so
getting used to hearing my own voice.
Yes.
And then I would say, like, I posted a video recently and I said, I'm not going to post this. Like, who cares? Like, who does it matter? Like, who cares? And I posted it, and the comments and the DMs and the texts and the calls from people about how they're going through the exact same thing, and how thank you for being brave enough to do it. So I think just doing it, and I just can't think about it. I just have to.
That's exactly how I do. I always tell people none of us know what we're doing.
Right.
Some of us just do it. We don't even think about it. Like, I know that if I think too much into it, I won't post it. But I also believe that Holy Spirit never drop something in your spirit for you to selfishly hold on to it. You have to get it out, if you will.
Even though sometimes that feels like the easiest route. It's not the easiest route because that'll always be sitting with you. It'll always be nagging with you. I mean, I remember times where I get things dropped in my spirit, as I call it. You do as well.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, nah, I'm good. Somebody else can handle that. I'm good. But it just doesn't go away. It's just, and my mother, may she rest in peace, I can just hear her voice sometimes. Come on. Just hear her voice.
She'd be so proud of you.
What are you doing? Let's go.
Man, I love that. Okay, so tell us what you're doing. Tell us about this journey where you've given away all your furniture at 60. As you can tell, very put together person. The last person in my masterminds that I ever thought would be flying like this. Shocker. But an incredible excitement that I am getting to watch you do this. Tell us what you're about to do.
So in a few weeks, I will be leaving. I'm starting off in Europe. And where I go from there, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going. I just know that it's important for me to experience different cultures, create community and connection.
Yeah.
And to teach what I experience.
Come on.
I feel like there's a lot of people who want to experience the world and just don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And to listen to the calling that's laid on your heart and having the courage to walk in it is scary and frightening as it is. Like I tell people, it's exhilarating and it's frightening all at the same time. And I love a home. Like home is so important to me. My home base is so important to me. And letting that go and the discomfort that comes with that.
Yeah.
But kind of existing in that discomfort. So we're going to see where I go, but I'm going to be traveling is all I know. I don't know for how long.
You're starting Europe?
I'm starting in Europe, meeting some friends. We're going to spend Christmas and New Year's in Europe. And we'll see where I go next.
So what if you didn't have any friends to go meet? What that person's watching today saying, I really want to do this, but I'm so scared. Like, I really believe you're going to have a whole Billy tribe. You're going to have some little, what's it? Billy fans, where they're going to be like, you're my pie spinach. They're going to be watching you because they're just like, I just want to see how this is going to go. So I think it's important that you even show us like the tea and the baguettes. And, when you're sitting there, just make sure you're doing, and Kai is here, your amazing niece.
Well, kind of niece.
Yeah,
she's my cousin. She's my cousin. We look like.
So Kai is here, and you say she's your what?
Unofficial social media manager. She will become official one day when I can start paying her.
Yes. And so you need to make sure that you're getting Kai all these little deets to at least every day drop a little reel so that we know what you did throughout the day. Because There are people that are wanting to do what you did. There are people that have been married for 38 years. All of a sudden, they get hit with their husband or wife dying. They are having to start all over because all of a sudden they're divorced after all those years. And they're like, man, I just want to live. I'm empty nester now. But they don't have friends. What would you tell that person? Like, you're meeting up with people in Europe. Would you still do it if you didn't have those friends?
Yes, I would still go.
Tell us. I knew you would. That's why I said that.
I have never had a problem traveling alone.
Yeah.
And I think that there's so many ways to travel and not be alone. Like, I think for a lot of people, that's
so. What does that look like?
So there's groups. There's tons. If you go on social media, there's tons of groups that travel together, first of all.
Really?
And then there's groups who support you as you're traveling. Like, evidently, there's this large contingency of Black women who've been going to Mexico. I did not know that until recently.
Are you
been moving to Mexico.
What?
Yes. And they have a support group where they talk to each other. They help each other. If they're unsure about things, they have a question about things, and they help each other. So there's a lot of connection and community out there to give you the support that you need. Plus, if you go to a certain place and then you make sure you go to the same place to pick up your tea every morning, yes. Or you go to have your lunch and go to the same place, and then you meet people and you connect with people, and do the research, because different countries and different cities in those countries are better at being more friendly and more engaging with people who are single or traveling.
Because you will be traveling to some of these places even by yourself.
I will. But what is really important to me is connection and community. So wherever I go, I will be creating. Like, people say to me, you're going to be traveling alone. And I'm going alone, but I'm not traveling alone.
Man,
because I know that I'm going to be meeting people and connecting with people and talking to people.
So tell that person that is, and maybe not traveling like you, but they've started their life over. Like, your parents were really big in your life. You're not married. You're gonna be. God's gonna bring you and he might meet him in Europe. Okay? That's why obedience is necessary. 1 ounce of obedience will do more for you than all the prayer in the world. Tell that person that is just starting over. Their parent died, their loved one died. How does that look when you're walking in and you're always looking for community? When you go to the coffee shop, what do you do to be open?
I think it's a internal thing. And I think in our country, the United States, a lot of it is we're very closed off. Mm-hmm. And I can be very closed off sometimes. And I have to be conscious about... It's
kind of like the energy you give, huh?
Yeah. And it's about being open. The way I describe it to friends is I'm being open to possibility.
Yeah.
Whatever that possibility is meeting somebody in a coffee shop or walking down the street and talking to somebody about their life. But it's being open and available to invite people in. Now, it doesn't mean you invite everybody.
Yeah.
Right? But it means that you discern who's somebody you might want to talk to. And I think, I have a lot of friends who are my age people are winding down.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to, assisted living. And I'm like, wait, hold up. And we're not quite there yet. No. I mean, God willing, we're still here to talk about it, but we're not quite there yet. And I think it's a mind shift from what society says is supposed to happen now.
Man, I love that.
And I think being 60 now is different than being 60 30 years ago or even 10 years ago
for that matter.
For that matter. You got to take care of yourself. You got to work out. But it's a mindset shift. And people aren't going to agree with you because people think that you're supposed to be doing the preparation for the end of life, right? And you do. You need to have wills and you need to have trust and do all of the things. But you also have the opportunity to go out and enjoy life. I also tell people that it's not about money.
Yeah, come on.
Because I'm blessed and I've worked a lot, but my financial advisor looked at me like I was crazy when I told him what I was going to do because you have to prepare for retirement, right? So it's not about money, but I believe that if you are walking in the path that God has laid out for you to walk, that everything will be provided in
How do you know you're walking out the life that
for me,
God wants you to walk out? That's what somebody's asking. How do I know it's not me?
For me, it's been the doors are opening.
Yep.
As I walk, and even just as an example, I was planning on being out of my apartment November 30th. And I had all these plans and I was trying to make things work. And nothing, everything felt like a square peg in a round hole. I felt like I was forcing it. Energetically, it just wasn't right. It was not time yet. So I was able to stay in my apartment until I leave for Europe, which is perfect. But it felt like I was just pushing up against the wall.
Yep.
And that's how you know that it's not right.
And so what'd you do?
I called a friend and asked her to reach out to the building manager because it was the day before Thanksgiving and everything was closed. and my friends in the building helped me reach the building manager, and they were kind enough to let me stay until
so much peace and
the
just
16th, and it felt like peaceful.
Yeah.
Like it felt like I was like,
yeah,
like I could relax. So that's how I know when things are not right. But when things are right, it just doors open. Doesn't mean it's always easy.
Yeah.
But the doors open and you just feel like this is it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Just feels right.
I love that, Billy. All right. So listen, y'all know we got to go to a break. We're going to let you go to the potty, whatever you want to do. Me and Miss Billy are going to finish up with just dreaming. Just dream. We're going to talk about that when we come back. See you in a second. Everybody, welcome back. This has been so much fun talking to my girl, BillyStreets.com. You can go to her website, BillyStreets.com. Follow her all over socials, Billy Streets. She is our wild child. She is literally picking up her life, this beautiful together person that has always structured her life out, ran mega companies, Madison Square Gardens, done all of these things, took care of her parents, just the one that always had her head screwed on straight. And at 60 years old, she decided in 2024 that I'm going to give all my stuff away, move out of my house that I've been in New Jersey for 9-10 years. And I'm just going to go. A house is important to me, but I'm going to take a few weeks, months, who knows what this is going to turn into.
Who knows?
And I'm going with it. And so when we were on break, you said, it's so crazy because even while we're talking, I'm thinking, nobody cares about this. Here's the important thing. And I want you to tell people, we all feel that way. Nobody cares about the book we're going to write. I think you're going to write this book while you're on this thing that you started out, because God says in Romans 8:28, he's working all things together for our good. He says it. And so I think 1 ounce of obedience opens doors for other things. That creativity is just going to flow. And you're going to be sitting out on this mountain with this beautiful view by the Eiffel Tower. There's not mountains in Eiffel Towers.
I don't think so.
You're going to be looking at the Eiffel Tower writing book. And we're going to get to see, today I finished 3 chapters today. But how important it is to ignore those voices in our heads that tells us nobody cares. Because the more times you hear that voice is the more times you know people care. Because the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy, and he distracts you with your own overthinking brains. So how are you staying at a place where you just kicking it out? Because you said it. You said there was a video idea, and I was like, nobody cares about this. And you said, I did it, and I can't believe
the response.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard sometimes. I'm just pushing through it at the moment, and it's getting easier as I go. But I think what happens for me is when I post, it's the response, and it's not, it could be one person, right? I think that's the other thing we have to, and it's hard, right? Not to get concerned about how many likes you get or how many people actually viewed the video. It's hard to not get caught up in that, but it's the one person that you might hear from who's just like, that is exactly what I needed to hear today. It's exactly what I'm going through.
Yeah.
Or you touched my heart. Those are the things that really keep me going. And I still, every time I post, I'm like, okay, Billy, just post it.
Come on.
And I've gotten to the point where I say to my angels, ancestors, God, and Jesus, when I post, I say, please let this be heard by whoever needs to hear it.
Yeah.
And that gives me peace before I post, and then I go ahead and post. And so whoever is meant to hear it will hear it.
I love that. Are you an overthinker?
I'm an overthinker. I'm a planner, which is why all of this is very interesting. I'm organized. So for me just to be pretty much flying by the seat of my pants, though not really, is different.
So Billy, I want you to tell the listener that's on here today that's starting over, or that person that is deciding, you know what, I'm going to fly. I'm going to get out of my comfort zone. What do I have to lose? but I'm stuck. What would you tell that person going into 2025? This is their last week. They're about to go soar, but they're scared, but they're right there on the edge and they're balancing like this. They could either go backwards or just tilt over. What would you tell that person?
To jump.
Come on.
To jump. There's always the ability to go back, right?
Yeah.
I can always go back and rent an apartment. I can always go back to living life how I'm living now. But when I close my eyes for the last time, I want to know that I have lived the life that I was meant to live. Not the life that I think I should live.
No regrets.
The life that I'm meant to live. And the only way that I can do that is to jump.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. And you can pray on it and have a circle of people who will encourage you and will be there for you when it feels like, what am I doing? And will be there for you along your journey. But to jump.
Just do it scared. And you may not have anyone in your circle that is believing in your dreams. Maybe your dreams are controversial. Maybe people think you're crazy. Maybe they think you're crazy to start that company because you have kids depending on you. Or maybe you've been, ready to get married, but you've been scared because you don't want to end up in divorce again. Maybe you are empty nesting and you're finding yourself just laying on the couch, eating ho-ho, scratching your behind, stuck. Get up and jump because you will not regret it. Y'all, thank you so much for watching today. Happy New Year. I'm so excited to be going into 2025 with you. We have masterclass that is starting in January. You want to be a part of it. We've got so much going on in January just to help pivot you. Miss Billy Streets is somebody you're going to want to follow into this new year because she is going to be out living her dreams and some of yours. Some of you are going to be living through Billy Streets.
Thank you for having me.
Man, I'm so honored. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And I'm cheering you on, and I'm definitely going to subscribe and be a fan. Go, Billy, go. Maybe even meet up with you on one of your trips. Who knows?
Fantastic.
So make sure you go to billystreets.com, follow her journey, follow her on all social media platforms, Billy Streets. Make sure you're going to realtalkkim.com, staying in contact with me, being on my masterminds or my inner circle community. And if you're in Atlanta, come be a part of Limitless Church, 1653 Highway 85 South, Fayetteville, Georgia, 30215. Every Sunday, I'm delivering a word right here in this beautiful community that God lets me pastor at 10 and 11:30. You can also tune in on my Real Talk Kim YouTube channel. I love you so much, and Happy
New Year.
See y'all soon.
Yay Media Group.